Hello guys. Thank you for joining me today. As usual on Tuesday, I'm doing the trading room here for the 5ers. Just before I start, let me know if the sound is good, if the video is good, and then we're going to move directly into the markets. Again, as usual, happy to be with you every Tuesday, managing trades and analysis, analyze the market together. Of course, I want to remind, if you have any question on the chat, if you want to discuss with me about any specific subject, let me know and we will discuss. I like that it's an open room and everyone can ask any questions they want. Of course, it's better if you can ask a question related to market and not to our programs at the 5ers. It's going to be a nice session. I see some feedback on the chat. Hi Alejandro, Mohamed, hi Greg. Hi everyone. Discuss news, can you? What type of news? If it's news regarding macroeconomic news, yeah, of course I can talk about it, and we are going to check. Just I want to show something. Let's move directly into the market. If you remember, guys, last week I say, maybe last week or a few weeks ago, guys, please be careful with the Euro USD. We already have here a very big impulse. So this was for me an indication to not buy the market, and this is for a specific reason. I'm all the time using Bollinger Bands and stochastics. Most of the people that are on the chat and knows me understand why I'm using those indicators. But again, to make a small remind, here moving from the bottom, this was in October 2022. Euro USD was trading around 0.27, 0.26, and from here we move 13% without any retracement. We see here that we break the average. Let's say it's an average down because the price start going down from here. So from here we didn't have any retracement into the average. We have actually small, some big indicators that here would be probably the end of the momentum for several reasons. The first reason is that stochastics is above 80, which means we are losing momentum somehow. The second is that we are at the top of the Bollinger Bands, meaning that we are 20 points standard deviation away from the mean. Okay, so generally we all the time expect the price to go back to the average. And the last point is this big zone that we have here. So it can be a zone, it can be a line. As you know, I like to identify zone. This big zone that was the bottom of 2020, when we break through it and then we go back again. I think it's also worked for the for the monthly chart. So all this zone, which is the one parity, I believe. It's 1.07. Okay, so 1.07 is a big key zone that we know already for from 7 years. You see on 2015 the price failed to drop below those areas, and then we make a retest, we break it here. So here is a big key zone for the Euro USD. Also in the monthly chart we see clearly that the price reached the average, and sometimes the price make a reaction to the average. So this was not for me. Of course the price action is very weird, as you know. The price here was very difficult to analyze, and this type of movement here, probably some people open a sell, I don't know, at this zone, put a stop loss above, probably here, getting wiped out, and then the market dropped. So it's basically here, let's say a whale movement. Let's say big institution that want to take the best price, they push the price up, getting you out here like retail trader that put tight stop loss, and then the price goes down. So here for me it's quite a clear explanation of the Euro USD. It's also the same scenario on pound dollar, and I can show you also the dollar index, but here is especially one scenario that we should avoid as a trader. You say, okay, it's an uptrend, but the trend, and Jordan like to use this term, but the trend is not your friend. I mean, of course, it could be nice to make a buy here because the trend is up, but at some point will be the last one that buy, and here that could be exactly the case. So yeah, let's try to find where can be the last, what can be like the next zone in the USD, and then I will dig into some recommendation in the chat. I will check New Zealand yen, I will check dollar yen also, and we're gonna move into economic calendar like Mohammed you want to discuss about it. So let's first of all try to find some zone in the Euro USD, and then we're going to move into other pairs. Here it's a big time frame that I'm showing you, because I expected for many weeks that the market at some point here will drop. We already had the drop, but right now we need to understand how we can react from it. Okay, it can be here in my case on a daily chart. I will not open a sell, okay, because we are at the bottom of Bollinger Band, so maybe why to not making a buy. You see here we already, it's maybe not enough, but can be some spot to make a buy. So the first zone probably is here actually right now that we are going on. We had also a zone here that the market break. Let me check if there are other interesting zone. That would be also a good zone. Yeah, so basically this is the zone I should look for the week. Actually we are in a zone H4 chart here. Stochastic is below 20, starting to cross. There are quite a high volatility right now, so if you want to make a long-term perspective, try to not make the full volume buy here, okay? Try to make a small buy here, partial entry, and then wait for the big demand here that we have. Okay, this is here a big demand that buyers can come and react. Maybe we can have also this point, which is also a key zone. So actually here I made this, let's say it's like a surgery, like when you go into a chart and say, okay, how can I try to understand what's going on? It's quite clear here. Okay, so this is for the Euro US. This is the main thing I see actually on lower time frame. I don't see any spot to go in. On the M30 it's not enough. It's not a big drop straight into the zone. Generally what I like is when the market goes straight into a zone, like I don't know, see here for example, it's a big drop, probably a news, we go into a demand, and from here the market can retrace. Actually here it's like more the market goes down, but like more slowly, in opposite to this big drop here. Like we went down 120 pips in 4 hours. Here it's the volume that we succeed to get down is a bit lower, so that's why here I don't see any point for making an entry. Maybe if we find to see if we start to see any any consolidation into this zone, I will think for making a buy here. It's quite very difficult. So yeah, let's move on. Let's look into dollar yen. Let me put my let me put this. Of course, if I see some opportunities in short time frame, can be on dollar yen, can be on pound yen, can be on any assets that I'm going to check today, I will not hesitate to enter. Yeah, so dollar yen here, it's quite a big. I don't know why actually there is a push here before the weekend. Maybe someone can explain actually why we had here. Maybe it's economic news just before the weekend, and market open with a gap here, which is quite huge in Forex, when the market open with a actually 1% gap up in dollar yen, which is a big gap. Probably we have the same gap in the Euro USD, Cape Town. No, actually we didn't have a big gap here on the Euro USD, but dollar yen is quite a big gap. Yeah, it looks like the market here is reacting to this zone. This is a key zone. It's not the extreme point, but the market already react to that point. We see stochastics cross above 80. We are at the top of Bollinger Bands, of course, because we break. Also here it's a key zone to take care about, and of course we have also this zone this zone. We have also this supply here, which is quite close of this zone. But if I were waiting for doing something here, yeah, I will wait a little bit more to open a sell. What's happening in lower time frame? Yeah, it looks like we're gonna break this low today. If not, let's check what's happening when the market goes here. Maybe I can find a spot to make a short scalp. But as you see, yeah, so we have this zone and we have actually the gap. Okay, that can be two zones actually that can react. I can open a partial entry here, reinforce my position here and make a stop loss just below. This is something I can look for during the session. Let's wait till the market react and probably, well, I will probably enter the market, but actually nothing to urge into a buy. We are not into a zone where you can increase your risk reward. You see, we did not touch yet the lowest point, so let's wait for it. And you see on H1, it looks like a head and shoulders. We have the shoulders one, the second shoulders here starting to create, and we have the head. So can be here the neckline. Okay, so this is something I can look for, buying on the neckline, because it's also a support line, and it's definitely the lowest point of the London session earlier today. And of course, if the market drop, I have some space for the market to react, and opening here. Hi, Scruffy, how are you? Hi, Gary. Yesterday I had the best morning I've had in a long time. Just couldn't leave well enough alone and ended up giving back most of my gains. So frustrating. Yeah, I understand you, but that's part of trading. You can have now some day, out some week, and then in one day the market goes against you. So that's why risk management is here one of the main things you should take in consideration. Yeah. Living the dream, as usual. Can you ever look at Aussie dollar? Okay, New Zealand yen also. Mark is asking. So let's move into New Zealand yen before I move to Aussie dollar. No, it's not this chart window. Let me put my. Yeah, I don't think so. It's not here a buy point. Again. Big daily chart. Again, I'm looking at the big time frame right now, and then we're going to drill down. So big daily chart. I will not go into weekly because it's a bit high, but in your daily chart, see, going up, going down, up, down. We are not breaking any big zone here. I believe that the average is probably on the middle. Okay, that's quite clear, and we are not so far from the average here. So in the daily chart, you need to sit and be patient. That's the only thing I see in the daily chart. Going at the H4 chart, it's quite the same setup, but you see, I'm making a drill down here and look what's happening. It's quite the same. Okay, we have actually the same movement that we identify in the daily chart. It's quite the same, moving up, moving down, not breaking any big structure, and we are here actually at the average. So again, nothing to do here, either on the daily chart, either on the H4 chart. Maybe if we go into M30, we can find any spot like this. You know, I'm not identifying it as a buying zone. Again, if you go, if you look at the H1, we are making lower high. It looks like the market is very weak and is starting to make a new low here. Again, I think the main spot for you in the New Zealand yen will be to look at the top. So the top already retraced multiple times. And of course to look at the bottom. In the middle of the zone, I don't see big opportunity actually. So be patient, put an alert here on the downside, put an alert on the top side. When it goes at this zone, check any indicators. Can be moving average, can be Fibonacci, whatever you use, whatever your strategy use, but keep this key zone for next time. Here again, I don't see anything to do. Probably on the H1 there, probably this. You see, it's like a downtrend channel on the H1. So nothing to make a buy here, as the market is on a downtrend line. Okay, I think it's quite clear here we have a downtrend on H1. Okay, Mark, thank you for the feedback regarding the yen. Yeah, so it's probably a fundamental event that's happened. I don't know why actually the yen depreciate. Maybe there is something more advanced to understand. We will not go into details, but of course, technically in the dollar yen, identifying the zone for day trades, and then we're going to see what's happening. But again, the big demand and the big zone on the dollar yen is quite a bit below. Hello from Uzbekistan. Hi. Aussie dollar. And let's go to Aussie dollar. Let's see, where's this? Ruben, do you trade against main trend? This, you know, I'm not trading the trend. This is something very clear. It depends, of course, which scenario. But for example, when you look at the Euro USD, and explain it a lot of time, but when you go into the daily chart and you say, yeah, here it's an uptrend, I will make a buy. I'm looking for something opposite. So I'm waiting for any retracement. I'm finding my zone, and then, you know, I don't know how to explain, but I'm all the time looking at the market to retrace and to retract from the trend. I'm not a breakout trader. I'm not a trend trader, if you can say like that. I have specific mindset that all the time the market need to go back to the average. So we had it in the New Zealand yen. Okay, if you don't look at the right side here, you will say, yeah, here the market make a breakout, whatever it is, I don't know. I will make a buy, because if you go even to lower time frame, I don't know. See, I'm all the time waiting for the price to go back to average. So of course, if you look this, I don't know, let's make this. This is an uptrend, probably, like, I don't know. This is an uptrend for you. I'm saying, okay, I'm looking, okay, when the market will go back to the past average that we have. The average is the blue line, and I will say, okay, and then the market will retrace, I don't know, from here. And this is most of the time like this. Okay, so this is when the price is in consolidation, but it's also working when the price is on a trend. Okay, like for example here, you see the trend is a downtrend, and the average is going down. It's quite the same. Guys, I invite you to look at my strategy that I explained. This is the same strategy. I'm using all the time the same mindset, but I'm using Bollinger Band stochastics and most likely a theory which called reversion to the mean. It's quite very easy to understand. I show you some examples in the marathon event that we did probably one month ago, when every one of us here at the 5ers explained his best strategy and one of his strategy, and you can check from all my mindset is coming to this understanding. I would not say I'm going against the main trend, but this can be related to this. I don't know, you trade pullback. Yeah, maybe here it's not a pullback, it's only a zone. I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of things. Yeah, some questions. We are 75 people actually on the chat, so thank you for joining me. I appreciate. I'm trying to read some of the questions that you guys ask on the chat. How about gold? I didn't talk about gold, and I look at gold last week, and it's quite the same scenario. I also explained this, that at some point the market may retrace to the mean. You see, guys, the market rise without any big retracement. You see all the time the market make a small retrace to the mean, not enough. And here we all the time were at 20 standard deviation. No retracement here. the market went up 20% in a matter of few months. Of course, there are, let's say, 2 months. Of course, there is here a macro fundamental explanation to this, why gold is rising like that. People are still afraid about inflation. Gold is, in the long term, it tends to rise when we have some difficulties by being risk on. So, you know, lot of things. We didn't reach this point yet, but see, it's quite very easy to see. Market go and starting to cross above 80 here, probably loss of momentum. If we go to weekly chart, you see, guys, okay, big momentum, second big momentum. So some of you on the channel will say, yeah, it's a big uptrend. There is a lot of momentum here on the top side, or you know, even here you can say this. You see, if I look at this candle or this candle, say, yeah, I will make a buy here. It's a big uptrend, and then you see the market here look like a losing momentum also here, doji, and then the market drop. Of course, it's news. Of course, it's a lot of things, but just to understand the overall context. And here, stochastic starting to cross above 80, retracement. Know what we can do on gold. See, actually on gold, it was an inverted and shoulders. We can say this is the head with triple bottom. First shoulder probably here. The second can be here. Neckline is definitely here, which is the 1,800 key zone, is a big zone that we break. I will be looking to make a buy if the market goes back to this zone. Okay. Again, here it's too late. Too early to identify a buy. You see on the H4, small consolidation. It looks like the market is like drop base and then will continue to drop and will go to this base. Okay, and here I will be looking for make a buy and hold it for a long term if we look at the daily chart. So this is my analysis on gold. Again, if you go to lower time frame, there are some good spots. You see on the it's not moving a lot, but if we go to M5 or M15, you see, say, okay, the ASEAN session we top here, here we top here. You see that we already reacted here one time, actually a second time, but the market is on a big like no man's land here. You see, if you go to H1 or H4, the market is in the middle of nowhere. There is, if you go to the left side of the chart, you see there is no place where here the market can retrace. But maybe here, but again, I don't think the market will react from here. And if yes, good job for people that have the balls to make a buy here. It's quite difficult. You see we are in a dropping momentum. I also see on the daily chart that stochastics is not yet crossed below 20, so high chance that the market continue on the downside. That's why I'm more looking for the 1,800 zone. So probably generally we make a breakout like this. Probably, I don't know, the price will here, let's say the price will move, I don't know where, but high chance that we go back to this zone. And here some people and lot of investors would like to reinforce their position or just to position themselves in gold, and that the market can continue on the top side. I'm expecting in 2023, 2024 maximum, a higher high in gold that actually we see on 2016, on 2000, around 2000 breakout. Something interesting, guys, is this is actually the price of gold in dollar, okay, in USD. The USD was very strong the last year, and that's why we didn't probably break into this zone. If I show you the gold against yen or gold against euro, we are quite making a breakout to the top side. Okay, it's also an indication that gold tends to win value, and here that's why gold against USD is here not succeed to make a new high. But yeah, again, interesting. We go back, we break here. at this here, breakout here. Again, I will not enter a buy here because it's a breakout. I don't enter the market when the market breaks out. This is not my setup, and this is not what I'm looking for. So this is about gold. Again, like I said, on lower time frame, not a big things to do. And if here, for example, the market start to react on the top side, I will look for a sell. Okay, I will look for a sell probably on this one. This is a middle supply, and then the market continues. This is something I would look for actually. So either make a buy on this zone or head 1,800, or waiting for the market to make a short retracement, and then making a sell for the market continue until this zone. Yeah, some nice questions so far actually. Some people identified head and shoulders in Australian dollar. That's correct. I also see that. Again, I'm not using head and shoulders to make a decision into my trade. This is more like to okay, understand how the price behave. I will just identify the patterns when I'm on position, but I will not take a decision upon any patterns. What's your confirmation to enter the trade? 90% of the time, I'm not waiting any confirmation. This is quite clear when the market goes far away from the mean, and most of my signal will tell me when to enter. When stochastics, for example, I don't know if I can find an example. Okay, let's take this example here. So I'm looking for a large drop. Okay, I'm looking for the price to be close to the bottom of top of the Bollinger Bands. Here we are close to the bottom, so that's fine. I'm all the time waiting for the price to go back to the mean, which is the mean is quite here, and I'm looking across in stochastics, which is below 20. So here can be actually a buy indication. And that's what I said. I say, yeah, here can be a buy in the Euro USD, but you need to give some space because the market can definitely drop to the next zone, which is a demand here. So actually, I'm quite a bit waiting. Because the market is here looks very bearish. Okay, if you look at the price action. But sometimes we have like better indication, like here, for example, it's on the New Zealand yen. I will not think 2 times by making a sell. Actually, I don't know, at this zone, you see, guys, for example. So when the market goes here, so it's a big uptrend. We are at the top of Bollinger Bands. The market start to make some rejection. Stochastics already crossed below above 80, and this would be a sell indication for me. Okay, so here there is no confirmation to wait, because if you wait the confirmation, the risk reward will be completely fucked. Okay, let's say the market is here. I will wait that the market goes down. Then the market goes down here. You say, yeah, I'm selling here. Okay, so here the risk reward is completely down. For example, in opposite, if you enter a sell here and you put the stop loss above, which is here, I don't know, between here and here. Of course, it's very theory. It's a big theory. What I tell you. Sometimes it can work on a trend. Here it's quite easy to understand because it's a zone. But here can be the sell and then the stop loss here, and then you can expect for I don't know. Here can be already 1 to 2 risk reward if you let the market. It depends how you manage it after. But in opposite to if you enter the price after I don't know confirmation and then you open the price here. You see that here you already not reach the 1 to 2 risk reward. You see you must put when you enter the price here, for example, after the confirmation. I don't know what type of confirmation you want to take. The stop loss again should be above the top line. It should be above the top zone, and that's considerably diminish your risk reward. Hi, Alistair. You can actually contact the help desk by email. They will help you. Just giving you an indication. I think your account is not opened. I did it myself today, so this might be okay. Try to connect again. And if not, contact the help desk team. They will help you. Alex is always there with the team, so don't worry. Yeah, okay, so market just opened 1 minute ago. Let's look at the S&P. I didn't talk about indices yet. But this was quite clear that we're going to break a new high last week. I don't know, we identified this zone together and all of the zones here. The market pushed here. We made the first buy. I think here we want this zone to make a buy, and then the market make a new high above that. Actually here it's quite an uptrend. Okay, you see that probably start from here, or even better, I don't know, here, whatever it is. Okay, we are actually starting to make an uptrend on the US indices. We already have higher low, higher high setup. So when you have this type of scenario, again, you need to wait the market to retrace. So probably here could be a zone for today, and then the market can continue. Okay, so this is all you should all the time identify the zone when the market moves. So let's check what's happening here. This is something I can look for today also. The market just opened. It's quite a nice zone here actually. Yeah. The market here can react on a short-term action. This is something I can look for actually. Okay, the execution is not so good, but again, I believe the market. I want to start building my positions. Here is the pre-market session. There is high chance again that the price continue to drop, but if the market rise from here, I don't want to miss the opportunity. Okay, so I already have some lot into my position. If the market goes against me again, I have several spots to go in. The market also is on this zone, not succeeding to break above on the pre-market. So let's check what's going on. Again, I want to remind you guys, all the trades and analysis I'm giving to you and I providing is only for an educational purposes. This is not any trading advice. Should take care about your trading account, and I'm not influencing any of your decisions. So that's an important point. Analyze dollar yen. I already analyzed the dollar yen, but I also wait for any reaction. But we don't have any reaction here. So actually, no signal for me. Nothing to do actually. In gold. If you have any questions, guys, meanwhile, let me know. I'm more than happy. I'm sorry, Mohammed, if you're still here, I didn't talk about any fundamental news today. I'm more focusing on understand the charts and what's happening. But yeah, let me check meanwhile what's the big news of this week. Okay, we have today Powell speaks in 3 hours from now. Yeah, on 3 hours we have speaks of Powell in the US, and also we have Macklem speaks, which is gonna move the CAD. Okay, so we have two big, not news but event in 3 hours from now. So yeah, we should be ready for it. Probably some news in macro environment news, explanation that can move the market. Tomorrow we have the FOMC. That we're not going to talk about today. Okay, that we're not going to talk about interest rates as we did already. Yeah, basically we don't have a lot of news this week on the USD. Only speaks that should already affect the market. So we should be attentive to what's going to happen. Don't forget about Aussie dollar. Yeah, okay. I went through Aussie dollar, but I didn't explain it so much. Yeah, I like this type of spots. Okay, when you still on an uptrend and coordinated with a zone. I call this a golden point, which here can be a nice spot. Of course, you need to give some space for the market to retrace. Market already starting to cross here 120. So yeah, this can be actually a good spot for not a day trade, but more a swing trade. In Aussie dollar, we are already at the bottom in the daily chart. Yeah, I like this type of spots. And of course, probably the market react at this high spot here on the Aussie dollar. But this is the type of retracement I'm looking for, and then continuing with the trend. Yeah, actually we have quite a nice risk reward here on the top side. On lower time frame, it's a bit more difficult. It's more difficult to make a decision in lower time frame because we have on the H1 year support and sorry, resistance. So here you see we are actually at the middle. So on the short time frame, it's very difficult to take a decision. But if we look at our time frame, you say, okay, I believe that this point here might give me any spot on the top side. This is what I look on Aussie dollar. I will not look here for a sell. Because I'm definitely not expecting a breakout like here. But you can start to build a position. Okay, depends where you stop loss. And this is something I can do also. But I'm not looking for You see on the M15 we're starting to cross a bit above below 20, but there is nothing on the left side of the chart. You see we are just going from already close the gap here. Yeah, this is something you can look for. What putting on the S&P? Nothing happens. The market still reacting to this zone. Yeah, nothing interesting here. What about pound dollar? Yeah, we have quite a nice spot on the pound. Not here because we are quite in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, it's quite a big zone. This is also the type of zone I like to have. You can start by building the position here again, but it looks like the market is making constantly a lower low. So again, I will not, when I see this type of chart and the market goes down very slowly, you see like we have this type of stuff here, and then the market break and so on. I would prefer to wait for any spot on the left side that I can count about. Like this is something I can expect. So yeah, the market here can continue to go down actually on pound dollar. How often do you do this live session? So I'm doing every Tuesday trading room, and sometimes I'm doing with Trade Delicious the London session on Wednesday. So tomorrow I will be also doing probably the London session. You know, another YouTube channel that we created called Trade Delicious. And except of that, we have every Monday Saul that also make a trading room. And you know, it's the same environment, going into chart, discussing about the markets. Sometimes it takes some trades, explaining. Generally on Monday we try to focus on our weekly forecast. So it's also interesting. So I invite you to be on our session. And if you miss one of them, you can always find the replay on YouTube. Yeah, actually the S&P is holding this this zone of the pre-market. It's wait, it's not the pre-market. It's also the low of last week. Yeah, it's the low of last week. No. So it's the low of the pre-market. So actually, the S&P is holding the low of the pre-market, and try to bounce above that. With some volume, we can break above this line, and this will be probably the beginning of an uptrend. Let's say the continuation of the uptrend. So this is why I wanted to at least have a partial entry into this. Of course, I'm expecting the price at some point probably to go back to this, to the demand, and then reinforce my position. It's always a play and timing between this. Yeah, your USD probably making a new low here. Yeah, quite very difficult to make a buy when here the market don't bring any place for making a buy. In opposite to New Zealand yen, for example, you see like on the H1. Let me go back here. You see all this zone when the market, we touch the top a lot of times, so it gives you some place to open a sell. Okay, here on the in the euro, it's like the market goes against you very quickly, and here we have short short retracement to the mean of the H1, and then we break down again. It's quite the same on the pound. So let's be patient and wait for the next big zone here on the pound and the euro. Okay, guys, I think we reached the end of the session. We know what's happening. Euro and pound are depreciating at the beginning of the week, expecting at least a zone where actually the market can bounce or react. So this is actually for me the zone I'm looking for. Of course, I need to see how the price react and then what is the momentum at that moment of time to make any decision. Euro is the same. The market continue to drop. I will wait the next zone, which is here, to make any decision. And yeah, on the S&P, I started to create and build a position. It will take some time because it's based on the H1 and H4 time frame. So I will leave the price behave and check what's happening. So yeah, guys, I think it's the end for today. Appreciate your time staying with me. All the time I appreciate the type of question you ask, and it's quite a nice interaction between you and me. And yeah, so see you tomorrow, London session on Trade Delicious. I don't know if I will do that or Saul, but London session tomorrow with Trade Delicious, and except of that, on the 5ers, see you next week, guys, on Tuesday. To answer your last question, I'm assuming you don't use any candle pattern. I do, but it's not a signal for me to make any trades. Okay, so if I see a doji or I don't know, I will not take a decision by looking at a pattern. It will drive me into my position. So yeah, this is how I can answer this. Guys, thank you for being with me. Appreciate your time and see you next time. Goodbye.